Hey, everyone! Today, we're diving into the mind-blowing connection between the 2022 sci-fi classic, The Man Who Fell to Earth, and a real-world game-changer, quantum fusion. The movie follows an alien who comes to Earth to save his planet using advanced tech. Sound familiar? Well, fast forward to 2025, and we're on the brink of a breakthrough that's just as revolutionary. Quantum fusion combines quantum physics and nuclear fusion to create limitless clean energy. Let's explore how fiction and reality collide. Quick question. Did you know fusion powers the sun? Drop a sun if you did. In The Man Who Fell to Earth, the protagonist uses alien tech to solve energy crises. Today, quantum fusion is doing something similar. Unlike traditional nuclear fission, fusion mimics the sun's process, smashing atoms together to release energy. But here's the twist. Quantum computing now helps stabilize these reactions, making them safer and faster. Just like the movie's hero, scientists are harnessing the stars to tackle climate change. Imagine charging your phone once a month with zero emissions. That's the dream, and companies like Helion Energy just hit a major milestone in 2024, sustaining fusion reactions for 30 seconds. Fiction? Nope. It's happening. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what's happening right now in quantum fusion. In early 2025, researchers made a massive leap forward by using AI to optimize plasma containment, one of the biggest hurdles in fusion energy research. Plasma, which needs to be heated to millions of degrees, is notoriously hard to stabilize. But thanks to advanced algorithms and machine learning, scientists are now able to predict disruptions in real time and adjust conditions instantly. It's like having a super smart thermostat for the sun. And guess what? The Asia-Pacific region, or APAC, is becoming a powerhouse in this field. Countries like China, Japan, and South Korea are leading the charge with new reactors and testing facilities. For example, China's experimental advanced superconducting tokamak East recently broke records by sustaining plasma for over 1,000 seconds. That's nearly 17 minutes of continuous fusion energy. Meanwhile, Japan is investing heavily in stellarator technology, which could offer a more stable alternative to tokamaks. Another trend to watch. Private investment is skyrocketing. Over $6.2 billion has poured into fusion startups in the past few years, with companies like Helion Energy and Commonwealth Fusion Systems racing to build compact reactors. Just last month, Helion announced they've achieved a breakthrough in magnetic confinement, bringing us closer to portable fusion power plants. Imagine a world where communities generate their own clean energy without relying on massive power grid. Oh, and one more thing, governments aren't sitting on the sidelines either. The U.S. Department of Energy just launched a $500 million initiative to accelerate fusion tech, focusing on making it commercially viable by 2035. That's less than a decade away. If successful, this could mean cleaner air, cheaper electricity, and even fusion-powered spacecraft someday. It's wild to think about how far we've come. From sci-fi dreams in The Man Who Fell to Earth to real-world breakthroughs today, quantum fusion is proving that the future isn't as far off as we thought. Okay, let's zoom in on how quantum fusion could radically reshape your life and why the old energy system might finally collapse. Picture this. Today, we rely on coal, oil, and gas for 80% of our energy. But fusion flips the script. It's clean, limitless, and way cheaper than fossil fuels. So, what happens next? First, coal and crude oil. They'll go the way of the dinosaur. Fusion produces zero carbon emissions, so countries will phase out coal plants fast to meet climate goals. The oil industry. It'll shrink dramatically. Think about it. Why drill for oil when fusion can power electric cars, planes, and even spaceships? Companies like SpaceX are already exploring fusion for Mars missions, and that's just the start. But here's the kicker. Energy prices could plummet. Fusion runs on hydrogen, which is abundant in water. No more bidding wars over oil reserves or price spikes during hurricanes. Imagine paying $20 a month for electricity instead of $200. It's a game changer for families and businesses alike. Now, the collapse of the old energy system won't just be environmental, it'll be economic. Countries like Saudi Arabia and Russia, which rely on oil exports, could face turmoil as demand dries up. Meanwhile, tech hubs in the US, China, and APAC will dominate the new fusion economy. Startups and engineers, they'll be the new oil tycoons. Heads up, would you invest in fusion stocks or stick with oil? Your daily routine will transform too. Cities will run on microgrids powered by fusion, making blackouts ancient history. Texas, for example, could power the entire state with just a handful of reactors. Electric cars, they'll charge in seconds using fusion-powered stations. And those clunky solar panels, they'll feel as outdated as dial-up internet. Even your home could get a makeover. Startups like Commonwealth Fusion are testing mini reactors small enough for neighborhoods. Imagine generating your own clean energy 24/7, selling excess power to your neighbors, and never stressing about bills again. It's like going from landlines to smartphones, but for energy. But wait, what about the downsides? The shift won't be smooth. Millions of jobs in oil, gas, and coal could vanish, sparking social unrest. Plus, building fusion infrastructure will take time and trillions in investment. Still, the payoff? A planet that's cooler, cleaner, and way more high-tech. So, are you ready for this energy revolution? Quantum fusion isn't just about cool sci-fi tech. It's about rewriting the rules of how we live, work, and power our world. And honestly, it can't come soon enough. All right, time to hear from you. Let's break this down. What part of this story blows your mind the most? Is it the sci-fi parallels between the man who fell to Earth and real fusion tech? Or the idea that clean, limitless energy could actually save the planet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm dying to know. And let's get specific. Hoverboards? We've all seen them in movies like Back to the Future, but fusion could make them a reality. Imagine magnetic levitation powered by mini fusion reactors. Would you ride one? Comment absolutely. Or hard pass below. Quick poll. Which futuristic prediction excites you more? A. Fusion-powered cities. B. Personal hoverboards. C. Interstellar travel. Vote with A, B, or C in the comments. Think. All right, I'll give you some time. Now, for the big thinkers. What's your wildest idea for fusion tech? Maybe fusion-powered AI robots? Or clean energy colonies on Mars? Share your craziest or most practical vision. I'll feature the best answers in my next video. Oh, and if you're new here, welcome to the future. Hit subscribe so you don't miss our weekly deep dives into tech movies and the weird places they overlap. Think of it like Netflix for nerds, but with more explosions. So here's the big picture. The Man Who Fell to Earth isn't just a surreal sci-fi story, it's a mirror to our world. Let's unpack this. Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, Faraday, is an alien scientist who lands on Earth to save his dying planet using advanced technology. His mission? Harness energy through principles that eerily resemble Faraday's law of induction, the real-world physics principle that governs how magnetic fields generate electricity. In the show, Faraday's tech is a fusion of quantum physics and alien ingenuity, much like how we're now combining quantum computing and nuclear fusion to create clean energy. And let's talk about the actor behind Faraday. Chiwetel Ejiofor. In interviews, he said the role forced him to ask, what if we're the aliens? What if we're the ones ignoring the solutions right in front of us? Think about that. Fusion isn't some alien tech, it's here. We're just finally listening. But here's the twist. In both the show and reality, powerful forces resist change. In the series, Faraday faces off against government agencies like the CIA and MI5, who sabotage his tech to protect the status quo. Sound familiar? Today, fossil fuel giants and politicians often downplay green energy, claiming it's unreliable or too expensive, even as quantum fusion proves them wrong. Why? Because controlling energy means controlling power. Cheap, limitless energy would dismantle their grip on economies and geopolitics. Think about it. If fusion replaces oil and coal, entire industries collapse. Countries reliant on fossil fuel exports lose leverage. It's no wonder some leaders mock climate science or lobby against green policies. They're clinging to a dying empire. But here's the kicker. Just like Faraday's tech in the show, we already have the tools to change this. Companies like Helion Energy and Commonwealth Fusion are racing to make fusion mainstream. The science is here. The only thing holding us back Fear. Fear of losing profit, power, or control. So, are we living in a scripted world where progress is stifled to keep us dependent? Maybe. But here's the hope. Faraday's story, both the character and the real-world scientist Michael Faraday, who pioneered electromagnetism, teaches us that innovation always finds a way. Today's fusion breakthroughs are a rebellion against the old guard, and just like in the show, it's the outsiders, the dreamers, and the scientists who'll save us. So question, what's your take? Is the world deliberately held back by those in power, or is progress just slower than we'd like? Share your thoughts below, and if you believe in a fusion-powered future, let's keep the conversation going. Remember, the future isn't something that might happen. It's something we build, and if a Sci-Fi show from 2022 can predict the rise of quantum fusion, imagine what we'll achieve next. Stay curious, stay critical, and keep dreaming big. This isn't the end, it's just the beginning.